But I think what the big problem is with mental health.
So I come from a world where addiction is rife, and I am a world-class addict. What I learned at Amazon is, but one of the strengths I've got is I've got a compass that tells me, an antennae, a radar that tells me that this is the right thing to be doing, and this is the right thing to be doing.
So today we're going to take you behind the scenes at the JAAQ Collective. You're going to meet Simon Morris, who created Love Film and sold that business to Amazon, and then worked alongside Jeff Bezos and his leadership team for a decade as their global chief creative officer. Simon's heavily involved with JAAQ, and as you will see in this episode, he's an amazing human being. So let's go behind the scenes on the JAAQ Collective.
I love you. I can love you. I saw you part of the team, Ben. You've passed your probation. Congratulations. Round of applause. Round of applause. Ben's passed. Everything in society is based on crisis. Text lines, call lines, services, NHS. Everything's there to make you feel better. But what's the problem with those? I think a lot of these brands are not geared to the right audience. People aren't using these services, so where are they going? The Google was the biggest search engine in the world for mental health questions. What was the problem with Google? It feeds you up this, all clinically based. Go to the NHS, and this is the problem that's happening in society. All of this is archaic. It isn't the way people digest content. So look, we've got Formula One stars on here. We've got famous people, but the most important for me, we're partnering with some unbelievable brands, because kids are a brand that you have to market to. We are getting, I don't call it a pushback, but as soon as I say we're going to build something for kids, everyone does this. Oh, careful, especially clinically. Are you getting clinical people? Is it clinically approved? By the way, everything on here is clinically approved by Bupa, and it will be before it goes live. But I think that's the mindset of what everyone's done in society for the last 15, 20 years. The mental health crisis is worse today for children than it was 5 years ago. So whatever the government are doing, whatever the clinicians are doing, it's not fucking working. That was hard in front of that audience.
So we've never struggled to raise money for this business. It's never been a problem for us. It's about choosing the right money from the right people. But I think the reality is going to be the revenue growth, I think, will be a lot faster than that. We will invest a lot more, planning a Series A for the first half of next year. So we're on a fast tech growth startup kind of plan. And then at some point, probably 2026, we need to go on the other side of the pond, because we'll probably be 20 to 50 times bigger, crack the US market.
I was completely blown away by what this business was doing, what the platform was doing, the power of the content. As you said, the way we deliver content to people, how they want it, the tiny resources in reality through a scaling kind of process. And I was just like, I have to be part of this. This is the most exciting, by far the biggest impact company I have ever seen, genuinely. And I've spoken to a lot. And yeah, so what I've really come here to do is kind of help on all angles of how we scale this company to 1 billion plus users. I think we've got to do that through a few different things. So one is you've got an amazing foundation of content. We've got an amazing foundation of experts. We've got this amazing engine to create that. The business is clearly attracting like huge attention from great investors, advisors, etc., and customers as well. People want this content on apps in the ways they're used to seeing it. So we're really focusing on fleshing out a direct-to-consumer product where, again, we can scale this proposition to people where they want it, how they want it, whenever they want it, basically.
My name is Simon Morris. I come from working class family, South London. I was born into a family of addicts, grew up keeping secrets, not letting people know what your weaknesses are, because if they know what your weakness is, they can use it against you. My uncle died of alcoholism. My sister has food disorders. My mum's an alcoholic. My grandfather had severe mental health, was an ex-D-Day veteran with PTSD and addiction problems. So I come from a world where addiction is rife, and I am a world-class addict. I haven't had a drink or a Class A drug or acted out in any addictive way for 22 years, 10 months and 23 days. Thank you. The challenge of mental health has been the keystone in everything in my life. I had an uncle who worked in advertising. Moment for me where I thought, what, you can go and make money coming up with ads. And so I went into advertising. Within 6 months of working in advertising, starting as an account man, I became a creative. And that is the those are the twin tracks of my career. One foot as a creative, one foot as an entrepreneur. I worked on things like Boddington's beer, for those of you old enough, the Cream of Manchester. Ironic, of course, an alcoholic working on a beer brand. I worked on Johnny Walker whiskey, one step at a time. And then I went to Sega. So I launched Sonic the Hedgehog. I launched video games in this country for 4 years. Did a Formula One deal with Damon Hill. Built that business up, got headhunted, became the CMO of B Sky Beat. So I went from working for Branson to working for Murdoch. I did Football 365, which was a stable of content.com early stage brands. Football 365, Music 365, Gardening 365, and realised that passion centres around content with the revolution of technology that was happening allowed us to take on the incumbent publishing and broadcast media companies. So we built that company up, IPO'd it, and then the wheels in my mental health came off the track, and I nearly died. And so I made a lot of money, was very lost, and lost everything. I lost my family, my money, my sanity, but something happened and I found a way through that. And ever since that day, have been very focused on the things that I'm good at and my passion for mental health and the ability to change the world without sounding all, Miss World about it. I then came back, I built a business with a few others called Love Film, which, whatever anyone tells you, we were trying to copy Netflix. But we evolved that business from a physical DVD business into a streaming business ahead of everybody else. We built that up, we got Amazon to invest in it, and then Amazon acquired us. And then I spent 10 years working as the Chief Creative Officer of Amazon, working for Jeff, working for Neil Lindsay, who now runs Amazon Worldwide Health. And so I'm like, have you seen, do you remember Forrest Gump? Right, I'm like Forrest Gump. I'm like the village idiot that stumbled through history into these opportunities and these great brands. And I know my limitations, but what I do know is I have an intuition. In Amazon, they call it a leadership principle. They call it, this person is right, ... a lot. Something you can't quite put your finger on, but it's an entrepreneur's feel and initiative. And I have had that from day one. From the accounts I worked on, the businesses I've invested in, the businesses I've started, co-created, the businesses I've built and sold, the businesses that I've partnered with, I've had a compass that is always right. And that sounds arrogant, but it's not. I've got lots of weaknesses. I've just told you what half of them are, right? Work with me long enough and you'll see a few others. But one of the strengths I've got is I've got a compass that tells me, an antennae, a radar that tells me that this is the right thing to be doing, and this is the right thing to be doing. I feel the same about JAAQ as I felt about any successful business I've been in and around. And when I've been in and around great people, I've got that same feeling. And so, that for me is proof enough. I'm at a stage in life where I do 3 things now, and I'm really resolute about it. Things I care about, things that are for good, and things that are likely to be commercially successful. And so I found my way to Danny. I think of myself as a sort of older, better looking, smarter brother to Danny. We're cut from the same cloth. I feel the same about Danny as I felt about all of the successful partnerships I've had in my life, whether it was with Chris Evans, whether it was at Sky, whether it was at Amazon. Creative tension to get to a belief that nothing is going to stop you achieving. What I learned at Amazon is work on the model, create the product, work on the model, and then they called it, somewhat inappropriate at the time, pour gasoline on it, by which they mean when you've got the model right, scale as fast as you can, move as fast as you can. And that comes from a point of money making and success and market share. But this is in the right place, not move as fast as we can to make as much money as we can, but move as fast as we can to do what we, the people involved in this business, believe in, is to make a fucking difference and to do the right thing. And look at yourself in the mirror. I looked at myself in the mirror 23 years ago and I was disgusted. I was, I'd lost everything. I'd lost my family, the middle of my nose had fallen out through coke. And I was dying, and I looked in the mirror and I said to myself, you're a disgusting human being. And if you had any courage, you'd end it now, or you will get clean and sober and you will do something about this. And my whole raison d'etre now is, in the time I've got left, to do the right thing, to take something and to every ounce of luck I've had, every contact I've got, and every bit of skill that I've got, and every bit of finance or ability to sell that I've got, to get behind something that I can look myself in the mirror at the end of my days and say I did the right thing by this. The other thing I always loved is Napoleon's line about don't give me successful generals, give me lucky generals, right? I think this is a business that has got driven people, a mission that the time is right for, the opportunity to achieve that, given what's going on in the world. And it's the best thing since sliced bread. I'll leave it there.
Boom.